To this video. Today we are talking about heat. Science chapter 3 for class 7 NCERT pattern. Science chapter 3 for class 7 NCERT pattern heat. What is heat? We all know what is hot and what is cold. Blow hot, blow cold. We have hot tea and coffee. We have cold juices or ice creams. Heat is a basic requirement for living things. As you know, when a plant or animal dies, when human beings die, the heat in the body is lost. Or when we are alive, the heat or the temperature of the body is maintained by the metabolic activity. It is necessary for life. Now, how do you know something is hot or something is cold? When you go out, the sun is very hot, your skin tells you. Skin is your most important sense organ that helps you sense something that is hot or cold. When you touch a glass of cold water, you feel refreshingly cold. When you have a glass of hot coffee, the glass is very hot. So you know that something is hot or something is cold when you touch it. But is your hand the best way to measure hot or cold? May not necessarily be. You need other mechanisms to measure. In summer, you wear cotton clothes. In winter, you wear woolen clothes. Why is like that? Because in summer it is very hot and you need to find a way to reduce that heat. In winter it is very cold and you need to find a way to make it warm. Woolen clothes from animals keep us warm like the wool or the silk. Cotton clothes from the plants keep us cool in summer. Cotton helps us keep summer. Likewise, dark colored clothes keep us warm. Light colored clothes keep us cool. That is why if you see in Arabian Peninsula, people will be wearing white thobe, the men, during the normal part of the year. But when it is very cold winter, they wear dark colored thobes. Why? Because dark color helps us to keep warm. Okay. So these are the different types of clothes we wear in different types of season to manage the way the heat of the sun enters the body or heat of the body does not leave the body. Now, sense of touch. We know hot and cold, hotter or colder, we can compare, but we will not really know exactly how much hot or how much cold it is using our hand or skin. Why? Take a glass of hot water, put your hand on it, you will know it is very hot. Take another glass of cold water, put your hand on it, you will know it is very cold. Now take another glass and then mix this water together in that, then you will find that that water is medium. So when you have a medium, then when you put your hand back from the medium water to the hot or cold, you will not really know how hot or how cold it is other than the fact that it is different. Why? Because the sense of touch or the hand is not really reliable and then you need something better to measure. So what you see picture here is a normal clinical thermometer which is used to measure normally when you have a fever or something. This is a clinical thermometer. Thermometer is a device that is used to measure the heat. Thermo means hot. Thermometer is used to measure the heat. Now what is temperature? Temperature is a measure of how hot or how thin something is. So temperature is a reliable measure of how hot or how cold something is. Thermometer is a device, the instrument used to measure the temperature. Temperature is measured sometimes in degree Celsius, sometimes in degree Fahrenheit. Degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit. How do you write a degree? You write a degree by putting a small dot or a circle on the top of the magnitude, the value. Just and C means centigrade. When you have a fever, how hot your body is measured by clinical thermometer. So you have 38 degrees fever, 40 degrees fever, like that you have. So likewise, when you have a measure in Fahrenheit, you will have 100 Fahrenheit as a fever. This is measured using a clinical thermometer. You put the thermometer below your tongue and then hold your mouth closed for some time. You should not bite it because it is made of glass. Then after some time, the temperature inside the thermometer scale will be different from what it was before you put it in the mouth, and so you can read the temperature, how much it is. How the temperature is different? Because the mercury inside gets heated because of your body temperature inside your mouth, and then the mercury expands and then the reading on the scale is different. So what is a thermometer? The clinical thermometer is a long, narrow, uniform glass tube. Clinical thermometer is a long, uniform glass tube inside with a cover or a shielding or a case outside. Uniform glass tube filled with mercury. This mercury is the one that expands with a bulb on one end and scale on the surface. There is a bulb on one end here and here, and then there is a scale to measure how much is the heat or temperature. It is measured in Celsius and Fahrenheit we have seen, and there are different types of thermometer for different purposes. One is called clinical thermometer, one is called lab thermometer. This is a lab thermometer. In lab thermometer you have something between 10 degrees and 100 degrees or 200 degrees to measure. What is 100 degrees? 100 degrees is all something like a boiling water. Okay, now what is a thing that you can try to do? When you have fever or if you have a clinical thermometer, you should clean the clinical thermometer with an antiseptic every time you use, and then try to see the temperature of different students in your class or different persons in your family, and then you will find each of them have a different temperature. Not everybody is having 37 degrees centigrade. What is special about this 37? 37 degrees centigrade is what we normally call as a normal body temperature of a human being. What is that usually called normal body temperature of a human being? It is average temperature of a large number of people when they are in normal health. So average temperature of a large number of people during the normal health is 37. If the health is not normal, if they have fever, it is not 37, it is something more. So normal temperature of an average person is not necessarily 37. It is an average of a lot of people is 37, but yours and mine can be different. Human body does not normally go below 35 or above 42. If it goes below 35 or above 42, it is a problem. So what happens in winter when the temperature falls? If you are not wearing socks or gloves or woolen monkey cap or sweater or a blanket or a shawl, your temperature falls below 35 because of the very cold weather outside. The weather outside temperature goes very even 10 degrees, and some places it is 4 degrees and all. 4 degrees it is a temperature at which water starts to freeze. So when it is a winter or a desert winter, when it is very cold, so what happens? Your body starts shaking. Your body is not able to function properly. Then what do? You normally start rubbing your hands against the person who is feeling very cold on their hand, on their feet. So you try to rub your hand or feet with with your hand on their feet or with your hand on their hands to make the hand or feet warm. You try to cover them with warm clothing. You try to put hot water bottles into their blanket so that they become little bit warmer, and then they retain their normal functioning. When the temperature goes down, body cannot work properly. Likewise, when the body temperature goes beyond 41, 42 and all, you will have to urgently go to hospital, and then you have to be in a place where it is very highly air conditioned and cooled or chilled to ensure your body comes back to normal temperature. Human body cannot exist in extreme climates. The lab thermometer has a range of 10 to 110. Every thermometer has a maximum and minimum temperature. There is another thermometer called maximum minimum thermometer. What is that thermometer do? The maximum minimum thermometer measures the maximum and minimum temperature of a place. That is why in weather report or in news in TV or in newspapers you will find today the temperature in Dubai is like this. Today the temperature in New Delhi is like this. Today the temperature in Osaka is like this. Why? Because it measures the maximum and minimum temperature of that city on that particular day. That is the maximum minimum temperature. Now, when you measure a temperature, the mercury expands, we have seen, it goes up. Then you take that thermometer out of your mouth, does the mercury immediately fall? No, it does not immediately fall because the kink prevents it from falling. It takes a little bit time, 1-2 minutes it takes. Before that, you can read the reading on the scale. Now, we have seen what is heat and how it is measured and why it is hot or cold based on the weather, and why you need different types of clothes in different weather. Now heat transfers. Heat transfers means what? Hot body transfers its heat to the, if you keep two hot glasses of water touching each other, one hot water and one is normal, the hot water glass will transfer a little bit of heat to the neighboring thing. How do you know? When you are sitting in a place, you know the seat becomes warm. When you keep a hot plate or a water on a table, and then when you remove it, you will find that portion of the table is warm. So that is transfer of heat. So heat is transferred first from the end nearest to the source and then slowly to the other end. That means what? If you take a long iron nail and put it on a flame on a stove, the portion that is touching the flame will be hotter first and the portion that is closer to you will be hotter later. Heat transfers from the in a fashion that the end nearest to the source becomes hotter first. The end nearest to the source becomes hotter first. Heat passes from the flame to the utensil on the stove. Heat passes from the flame to the utensil on the stove. So the bottom of the utensil becomes hot fast and the top of the utensil or the cover of the pot becomes hotter later. This is called conduction. What is conduction? Conduction is transfer of heat from hotter end to the colder end of the object. Conduction is transfer of heat from the hotter end to the colder end of the object. It mostly happens in solids. Heat is transferred first from the end nearest to the source and then slowly heat reaches the end that is farther away from the source. Even not only heat, cold also passes from the ice cubes to the glass on which the ice cubes is put. So if you take a metal sheet and if you put an ice cube on it, the other end of the sheet or the rod will become cold in a due course in after some time. So heat also passes by conduction, cold also passes by conduction. Absence of heat is cold. Conductors are mostly solid materials or metals. Conductors are materials that allow heat to pass through. Conductors are materials that allow heat to pass through. Wood is not a conductor. That is why when you touch the wood, it doesn't become warm or cold. You don't feel. But when you touch a metal sheet, a steel table or a aluminium table, you can feel the heat or cold because they are conductors of the heat or cold. Conductors are materials that allow heat to pass through. Conductors are materials that allow heat to pass through. Most of the metals are conductors. Conduction happens in solids. Conductors are materials that allow heat to pass through. Then what are insulators? Whatever is not a conductor is an insulator. Whatever does not allow heat or cold to pass through is an insulator. Whatever prevents the passing of the heat or cold is an insulator. So insulator are materials which do not allow heat to pass through easily. Sometimes they do not allow to pass through at all. Sometimes they don't allow to pass through easily. So insulators are not necessarily non-conductor, they are poor conductors also. For example, wood. When wood is used as a fire in a fireplace, the other end of the wood does become warm after a long time. So they are very poor conductor of heat, but still some heat is conducted to the other end of the wood which is not burning. Rubber is a good example of insulator or a non-conductor. Now, does water or air transfer heat in the same way? Yes, water and air are also very poor conductors and a sort of insulators. Air is a sort of insulator. That is why in woolen fiber, because the air is getting trapped inside, you feel warm. Air is a more an insulator than a conductor. But at the same time, is air 100% insulator? We can't say so because in an air conditioned room, the air is what is becoming cooler. You are conditioning the air to make it cool. So that cool air is what touches your skin and gives you a feeling of this room is cool. So air and water are not very good conductors and they are closer to being insulators. Okay, in water, how the heat transfer happens, let us see. When water is heated, water near the source, you pour some water in a kettle or in a pot and put it on a stove in a flame. Ask an adult to help you do this. So the water near the source gets hot first. That is, the bottom portion of the vessel, the water there gets hot first. And then that hot water rises up. That is why you see bubbles coming up. And then the colder water on the top of the vessel goes down below to take the place of the water that has come up. So hot water from the bottom goes up, cold water from the top goes down, and this cycle keeps on going up and down till the whole water is almost at the same temperature. So water does conduct heat, but the way it does is The hot water molecules, the hot water particles, the hot water bubbles from the bottom of the vessel, where it is hotter more, goes up to the colder area. Why the bottom of the vessel is hotter more? The vessel is in contact with the flame and the heat transfers in a fashion that the portion closer to the source gets hot first than the portion farther from the source. Now, convection is a mode of transfer of heat in liquids. What is convection? Convection is not transferring the heat like the metal in a or a vessel. Heat is transferred from one end to the another slowly, and the portion closer to the source getting hotter faster, and heat passing from flame to vessel are examples of convection. In convection, the water is not transferred from the bottom water to the hot water, but the water below goes up because it is hot, and the water above comes down because it is cold, and end of the day, after quite some time, all the water becomes hot. This is convection. Convection is a mode of transfer of heat in liquids. Now air also it is similar to water. So in fluids, air is a fluid, liquid is a fluid. Whatever flows is a fluid. Okay, air also it is somewhat similar to water. The hot air goes up and the cold air comes down. In land, what happens? During the day, the land gets heated faster than water in the ocean. Because the land gets heated, the surface of the atmosphere closer to the atmosphere closer to the land surface gets heated faster because land gets heated faster. And because the atmosphere gets hotter nearer the land, it goes up. And because it goes up, what happens? The water in the oceans are colder, not as hot as the land. So the air there is not as hot as the air near the land. So the air from the ocean surface, sea surface, rushes to the land because the air in the surface of the land has become hotter and moved up. This rushing of the air from the sea to the land is called sea breeze. In the night, the reverse of this happens. Land gets cooler faster. The ocean does not become cooler faster. So, what happens is the land breeze happens. The air from the land goes to the sea. The land breeze happens. So, during the day, the land gets heated faster because of the sun rays. The hot land causes the hot air on the surface of the earth to become hotter. So the during the day, due to sunlight, land becomes hotter faster. It heats up the atmospheric air closer to the surface of the earth, and so the air becomes hotter. When air is hotter, just because of convection, the air moves up. When the air moves up, the air on the surface of the sea moves into the land. This causes sea breeze. Why that air in the sea is cooler? The air in the sea above the sea is cooler because the oceans are not as hot as the land, because land gets heated faster than the oceans. Again, at night, this is sea breeze. At night, the water cools down more slowly than the land. So, the air above the water is not cold but hot. So, it rises. Because it rises, there is a vacuum created and the air above the land rushes in. Why the air above the land rushes in? Because the air above the land is cooler. Because the land is cooler in the night than the water. So, this land from the cooler moves seawards and this is called sea breeze. So what happens is this land breeze and sea breeze gives rise to something called continental climate in places near the sea. The seaport cities or the coastal towns have this climate. That is why it is more enjoyable to stay in coastal cities. When the heat falls on some object, a part of it is reflected, a part is absorbed, and a part is transmitted. When any heat, be it the sun rays, when it falls on a subject, a part of it is reflected, part is absorbed, and a part is transmitted. So this happens when the sun's rays pass over a long distance and reaches Earth. So most part between the sun and the earth have no medium. Most part between the sun and the earth has no medium. What is a medium? Medium in which conduction or convection can happen. There is no medium. What is that meaning? That means the atmosphere of the earth is only so many kilometers thick. Troposphere, stratosphere, we have studied. So atmosphere is only so many kilometers thick. It is not extending up to the sun. There is a lot of space between the atmosphere of the earth and the sun which is empty. So the sun rays cannot reach earth by way of convection or conduction. For conduction you need what? You need something like a solid where it can touch and pass on the heat. Convection is what? The air or water moves up and down. Now there is no air or water to move up and down, or there is no metal stick connecting earth to the sun. So how do we get the heat of the sun? That is the process called radiation. Radiation is transfer without medium. Then one important thing is all hot bodies do radiate heat. All hot bodies do radiate heat. That is why if you keep one big block of ice, maybe size of a table or a size of a bed on top of a table in a room and close the room, and after 1 hour if you come and see the room will be cool. Why? The radiation of heat is same as radiation of cold. This block of ice had radiated cold to all over that room to make that air by way of convection cooler. This will happen with cold also. Kitchens are always very hot. Why? Because of the heat generated in the cooking process. That radiation gets catched up on the air, and then once the air becomes hot, among the air by way of convection all the air around becomes hot. So all bodies radiate. The hot bodies radiate more heat. Okay, so the heat for when it falls on an object, some are absorbed, some are reflected, and some are transmitted. That is the property of the way of transfer of hotness or transfer of heat. Thanks for watching this video. We have seen different types of thermometers. We have seen what is temperature. We have seen measuring of the temperature in the degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit. We have seen conduction, convection, radiation. We have seen how the heat gets transferred in water, air, land. We have seen sea breeze and land breeze also. Please keep coming back for more such videos. Thank you.